Man, number 3 by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks from Image Comics. Now, this is not well, this is a cover, of course, by Brad Booth, but it is not the actual story. So what Local Man is doing is they have a normal story, the main story, and had a backstory. And the backstory goes back into the past. Well, Local Man was a superhero called Crossjack. So we begin there because it's a short story, and then we go flip it over and read the main story. So this is in the past. It says here, what is it with the resolution all the time? The mercy seat. It was placed on top of the Ark of the Covenant, which contained the great knowledge of the Israelites. It's where Yahweh came to sit and talk to Moses, a primeval supercomputer able to contain and distribute unlimited power and fit for God to plop his ass on. That's what powered the Apex or APEC engine. And so Crossjack is here with this girl, and and they talk, they talk stuff, he's talking about Indiana Jones because, Ark of the Covenant and all that stuff, and she didn't really get it. And she said, "Country boy, did you grow up on a hippie commune?" "Yeah," she said, "but we read a lot more than American public school kids, apparently." And then they look around and it says, "Hey, looks like everyone is on the fight. Is that the Liberty Lords? I can never remember all those old teams. Allied Forces, maybe? That's definitely a super beast. Damn, it's bad when the monster guys show up." "You know what I noticed, Crossjack? You never look at me." "What? That's not true. I mean, I catch you look at me when I walk away, but you never look at me." "Well, the costume, it distracts from you." Yeah, but then she says, "Well, I do it because I need to show as much skin possible for her powers to work." It seems that she is absorbing light and all that stuff, right? And so she's shooting this angel. And besides, the suit always gives me a split-second lead, especially on a certain kind of guy. So he says, "Well, you do have some practice with those certain kind of guys." And you look around right after you said that, all wide-eyed and nervous. This is about Crusader. You're afraid of him. Well, sure, who wouldn't be? So Crusader is that very religious guy. I believe it's called the Crusader Cameo or something. And he has I believe, a relationship with this girl, right? And Local Man is it's this guy, right? And something happens, and we're going to show a little bit what happened here. He says, "This guy literally walked into hell to fight Satan. He is scary and unpredictable. To you, maybe. To me, he is an open book. He likes you. It is why he beat the shit out of your old bad guy. He wants you to like him, and he wants you to like me." And then they kiss. "Erica, you're married." God is off his seat and hell is on earth, Jack. It's a little late to care about the rules. Well, I don't know, because the reason that people don't like him is because he was in this group called Third Gen, and he's been kicked out. I believe he was caught by this guy, but I'm not entirely sure. But we're probably going to find out in issue number 4, right? Okay. And here I have this pin-up of this woman that reminds me a little bit of the Sentry. The Sentry has also some kind of a shadow monster in him. And it reminds me of that, right? So we go basically to the main story. I like this cover. It's really something. And Local Man is not really a superhero comic, although I'll show you some superhero stuff. Local Man is more like, this guy, there's something happened to him. He comes home in his old town. People don't like him for reasons. He's pretty hated. Even his parents don't like him, although they come around a little bit. And even his Uber driver, like this guy, he says, "Hey, are you the superhero guy? Are you Crossjacked?" The driver app says Jack Xavier. Yeah, well, I'm not him. I got a mask. Yeah, okay, whatever. Fuck Crossjack. So I don't know. Is this the Fantastic Four headquarters? What is it? I don't know. But it's some kind of a book signing thingy, and people can pray here. Maybe it's some kind of a church. I don't know, right? But he is disguising himself because in the last issue he's being surveilled by a robot. He just destroyed the robot, and he's here on disguise because he cannot leave the compound or whatever. Otherwise, the third gen is going to be alerted, and because I don't know, he has house arrest or something. He's been banished to do any superhero stuff. And I wonder why, right? So I have a lot of questions, and it's slowly but surely we're going to see a little bit of a glimpse of what's happened in the past, in this backstory here, right? But he's just an average Joe. He has superpowers. But he's an average Joe and pretty unlikable at some point. And he says, "Hey, can you keep an eye on my dog?" And I don't know, mowing the lawn, I guess. So it seems that this woman is signing books, and she says, "Hey, I guess I should be impressed, right? Big famous celebrity, Jack Xavier, coming to my reading. Do you subscribe to my newsletter?" And so he says, "Well, no, but my mom and dad does." And what a coincidence. The Hodag is dead, and his old teammate FRIGHTSIDE is in Farmington, Wisconsin, of all places. A teammate possessed by a hateful, whispering, inky monster from beyond. What was done to his body, Stacy? I saw picture. Only something inhuman. Only something the Fright could do that. So it seems that the Fright is part of this woman, right? And she's suppressing it. And so she says, I suppose, plenty of time to build muscle when you're an ancient god from before time. Why would the Fright do that? Hodak knew that the Desolators were up to something. So I guess these are the Desolators, the villain group where Hodak was a part of, I guess, right? And they're looking for the APEC engine again, right? And so he saw something that Hodak drew, and then she's starting to laugh. And so basically he's saying, hey, I'm on to you, right? He could join you because of his condition, but he knew. And that same condition meant he might talk. So you let your fear out and killed him. She laughs. And she says, hey, I'm sorry, I could not hold it any longer. In your hand, it's a drawing of a token, dipshit. Like you get in a support group. Me, Hodak, Superior, a couple of the other supermugs. Painkiller shows up when he doesn't say much. We do it online. Hodak came up with the name Constructors. Like as in building something. I figured if I was going to tell the world how I controlled my demon before it ate me alive, the least I could do was offer it to my old friends, or whatever we all were. I mean, my secret was CBD. I don't know what that means. Maybe you can tell me in the comments below if is that some kind of an English slang or whatever. Anyway, Hoda had one of those memories, after the injury. Could reproduce things he's seen like this, even it looked like it was done by a toddler. Jeremy, that's probably Hodak's name, wanted a token so bad. That's why he drew this. But he couldn't do it. Kept backsliding. She says, I was his sponsor. I scheduled the signing here on my last leg of my tour so I could help him. It didn't seem until it was too late. Now I'm staying just for the funeral. And she says, I sold a goddamn 1.5 million books, Jack. Why the hell else would I come back to this dead-end town? So, Jeremy, did he say something about me in those meetings? Yeah, I guess. You weren't really popular amongst the constructors. No, because they were a supervillain group, right? And he was a superhero. And we all thought you were just as selfish as any of us used to be. Maybe more so. Jeremy said you were misunderstood like him. He said you were in pain too, that you've been lied to. He said you tried to fix the hurt. Now I guess we know who was right. So she says, hey, I'm going back to my hotel and I'm going to see you at the funeral, Crossjack, unless you decide to leave before then. Yeah, he's still not likable. So he goes outside and he grabs his puppy and he says, oh, well, I owe him. So he turns around and he says, hey, priest, hey, pastor, hey, father, God does exist. You know, I met him during the Fallen Heavens event like 15 years ago, and it probably was, in this backstory, fighting demons and etc. He's exactly not what you imagine. He's like a weird android thing made out of gold and platinum, and well, he eats souls, but he's real. And then, but you cannot hear him. So he says, "Hey, what did you say?" And then there's a car coming, and Crossjack saves him, but it feels like he's jumping on the car hood on the hood of this car, which doesn't happen. So he says, "Did you say something you met? Did you say you met God?" Oh no, sorry, you must have misheard me. And nobody questions the fact that he has this mask on, although everybody knows who he is, right? So we go back to this woman, and then she's talking to herself, but that's not entirely true. She's talking to the fright, and she says, "I haven't let you out in years. You made me do things I didn't want to do. Look, I took some shit at Crossjack, but I haven't done everything I could either. Tell me, found the answer, and I'll bring you to this plane for a little peek of what you've been missing." Fright, who killed Hodak? But then someone knocks on the door and says, "Hey, champagne." And it's a gift from the hotel, and you have to sign for it. So she opens up, and then she's getting attacked from behind. And there is a voice. I've read your book. Well, some of it, any parts. Some of it, anyway, the parts I did was supposed to. Real interesting, if I understood. That wasn't like a metaphor, right? When you get scared, the monster inside gets stronger. A real one, it gets more powerful and tries to get out. So that must leave you with a question, right? I mean, a pretty terrible one. Because if you're dying, scared for your life because it might just end any second now. Can you really defend yourself? Can you fight back all the way? Or would that risk unleashing your fright on the whole world? Just like the Sentry, right? But a little bit different. So I wonder what she's going to do. And then Crossjack is outside this woman's bakery, and they are friends because they are, I don't know each other from before, right? And they're having a chat. So he says, "Did you not really tell your husband about us?" So the husband was that police guy from the last issue, and he's a little bit jealous because he had some fling with her, right? And but these two are married, well, the cop and this woman. And she says, "Did he tell you that at the jail?" "Yeah, he may have rubbed it in." Ha, that is so Brian. Brian and I didn't meet until I was already in my 30s. By then, you, me, and all that awkward, passionate making out and dry humping seemed like a lifetime before. I don't know. I guess I figured with him being a cop and you being like the ultimate lawman, there'd be issues, I guess. Jealousy, probably. If I didn't do it, the rock hard abs poured into that spandex would have. And so, yeah, you knew me best back then. Why did I leave Farmington? Because you were born with some kind of a thing. Because you are a superpower being, or a freak, or a mutant, or whatever. So, yeah, he's questioning himself a lot, don't know what to do. And so they're having a chat here. So she says, well, Farmington was always a little bit difficult place for him. You can only go so far there. Here. Can only do so much for yourself or for anyone else if that's your thing. You could see that? I could, yeah. Maybe not as clearly because I'm not a SPB or a freak or a mutant. But I have a superhero power too, Jake. Really? Yeah. It doesn't matter where I am. I can forge whatever I touch into what I want to be. Talking about her making food, which in my opinion is a superpower because there's people that are really good cooks. I'm not. But yeah, I'm a little bit of a jealous of people. Well, I can learn, of course, but I don't have the time or the skills, or I don't want to. Anyway, but that's besides the point. So he's just dumbass kisses her. And she says, what the fuck? What are you doing? And he says, I'm sorry. I have kids and I'm married. Yeah, right. Chief Bullschultz, always on the case. He taught me all about what a big man he is. So his jealousy seeps a little bit in, right? Avenger of dog maulings, protector of the quarry. And then he says, the quarry. So he remembers something, right? And so he's making a... so she says, what are you doing? Hodek's murder. I owe it to him to figure it out who did it. And I got a clue. And Jack, come on. Are you serious? Brian, no, you didn't do it. I vouch for you. It's not enough. You really think you can solve a crime? You're not a detective. No, but I'm not Crossjack either. Suck it, Crossjack. So there's a newspaper, and he reads it, and he says, hey, I need to go. And then we go to the Gen 3rd or 3rd Gen headquarters. So this very religious person called Camo Crusader, and he's been interrupted by softcore, and he said you should see this. And Jack was never good at following clear, simple directions. So yeah, he saves a priest, and this guy didn't like it because I know he's a religious man too. He says, I'm going to have a talk with this local man. But then we go back to the I don't know, water park, whatever, and there's a screaming from this, I don't know, hotel, I guess. And yeah, she's dead. I wonder what's going to happen. Maybe it's dying, maybe it's going to release. And why did she, let herself be killed? Maybe she doesn't want to get this thing out of her. Yeah, that's a tough decision, man. I really like this comic. Like I said, it's not really a superhero comic, but there's a lot of elements in it, and it's about murder, and who did it, and why, and also, why does this Camo Crusader just hate it? Well, I can, of course, imagine because he's he has a thing with his wife, but the rest of the team doesn't like him either. So more mysterious things. We're gonna see where it's going. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.